Hello, I'm Sarah Lynch. I'm the Student Government President at Open Campus Dewar.
Hello, I'm Andreina Trent, and I'm a senator for Open Campus Dewar Center.
And I'm Christopher Rodriguez, the Student Volunteer Coordinator here at Open Campus Dewar Center.
And we're going to be here to talk to you guys today about bystander training and what to do when you see an issue being played out while you're here, anywhere else in life, what to do and how to resolve it. Wait, where's my paper? All right, so in a moment we are going to get started, but first we need to pass out a pretest to see what you guys know already and what if you guys have learned anything afterwards.
Sorry.
Would you like one for the special?
The special. No idea.
Yeah, your book is up here.
You can just, I don't get it. Yeah. You should.
We'll take about 2 more minutes and then continue on. So. Hello. Hey, if you guys could sign in over here real quick. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on and continue. So, if you guys think that you would help someone in trouble if you saw it, stand up. All right, well, sadly, this is not the case in real life. Most people will not actually step up and help a person in trouble. All right, so some of the goals that we will be talking about during this training will be to raise awareness to helping behaviors, to increase motivation, to help develop skills and confidence when responding to problems or concerns, and to ensure safety and the well-being of yourself and others. Assuming that most people want to do the right thing is false. Sorry, that was supposed to be before. All right, in this training, we will discuss why people don't help, strategies to overcome the barriers, and how to apply the strategies to everyday situations. The sad truths about life, or not necessarily sad truths, but most problems happen in group settings, and when you're not paying attention, things happen. Friends are usually in a better position to do something. If you are with a friend, you guys can communicate with each other, even non-verbally, to let each other know what's going on and to help. And you will be in a situation in which you can help in the future. That will happen. You will see something in the future and you will have an opportunity to step up. All right, individual leadership. This is where you take part on your own terms. This is when you see something and you have no friends, no one else beside you. You have to be the individual leader to step up and do something on your own. With shared responsibility, like I was talking about with friends, you can be with a friend and help each other help the situation. Yes. So do something. All right. Here are 3 variables that affect helping. Which one do you think would be most likely, or not most likely, which do you think would be the most affected when dealing with a situation? Yes.
Situational,
Why do you say that?
because sometimes people don't help each other because of the situation that they're in.
All right, well, let me give you the definitions of each first before you continue with your thoughts. Individual is a person's knowledge, skill set, competence, and sense of social responsibility, et cetera, et cetera. Situational, it varies in the situation. Are other people around, and what are the costs of helping? Those are 2 questions that you ask yourself in that situation. And with victim, do you know the person? Do you think they deserve the help? And will they accept the help? So, what do you guys think? Which one would it be?
Situation, individual.
Think so? Anybody else? All right, well, it is situational. You were correct. All right. And now I would like to introduce Andre.
So we will be going over the awareness test. And I'll be showing you guys a couple of videos going over some of the scenarios that we're speaking about. The first video. Bear with me.
Use the mouse.
Use the mouse.
So,
Okay, I got it.
This This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make? The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
It's easy to miss something you're not looking for. Did anybody see the moonwalking bear before they told you? Okay. So the objective of that video was, it's easy to miss something you're not looking for. People are busy and distracted by their phones and talking and texting. So it's easy to miss those sort of situations. So you should be aware of your surroundings at all times. And the next slide we will go over is conformity. And I have a video on that as well. Okay. Okay. This is the same video.
keep going. Go.
Next
Yeah.
one.
One more. Okay, next slide. There you go.
How powerful is the pull of negative group pressure? We wanted to know. So Dateline enlisted Professor Brett Canis and his psychology students at the University of California, Santa Cruz to replicate Dr. Solomon Asch's classic 1950s conformity study. They did what Asch did, design a simple exercise matching the line on the left with the one of identical length on the right, and then have the students who were plants give intentionally wrong answers, claiming, for example, line 1 on this card is the right match.
One.
The subjects, always in seat 6, are then faced with the experiment's fundamental question: conform by giving answers they know to be absurdly wrong, or defy the group and give answers they know to be correct. We'll start with Marie. As she hears the clearly wrong answers, she glances at the leader, seemingly for help, yet she sticks to her guns and defies the group.
3.
Sorry. Okay. Did I do that?
How powerful is the pull of The subjects, always in seat 6, are then faced with the experiment's fundamental question: conform by giving answers they know to be absurdly wrong, or defy the group and give answers they know to be correct. We'll start with Marie. As she hears the clearly wrong answers, she glances at the leader, seemingly for help, yet she sticks to her guns and defies the group.
3.
And keeps disagreeing.
3.
Although her resistance is never easy.
1.
As Marie stares intently at this card, she can't believe her ears.
1.
The urge to join the group and conform builds with each wrong answer, and she suffers for every right answer she gives.
2.
What does she finally do?
3.
3.
2.
She would not conform.
There was a lot of pressure in that room. There was a lot of tension that I felt. I can see where somebody would buckle and just lose it.
And you didn't like being different.
No, but I didn't want to be wrong either.
Up next, Brian. What will he do?
1.
The first few times the plants pick the obviously incorrect line, Brian confidently defies the group.
1. 3.
Confident because just look at the card. Of course, the only logical answer is 3. And this card, nobody could possibly say anything but 3 is the correct answer here as well, right? Just watch.
2.
Notice Brian's eyes start to droop, and listen to his voice get softer
3.
when the group gets it wrong again. And again.
3.
3.
2.
For 4 rounds now, he's been fighting the good fight against conformity.
3.
3.
But with the pressure mounting,
3.
3.
3.
he just can't fight anymore.
3.
And in succeeding rounds with Brian continuing to give answers he knows to be wrong,
2.
he only gets sadder and softer.
3.
By the final trial, he's a thoroughly beaten man.
1.
I gave up.
1.
There were times when I didn't even look at the lines and said the answer. I became quiet, decided that I wasn't playing the game right, so I just played along.
Yes. So that video was on conformity, and it was showing that if you're in the room with a group of people and you know that you're doing the right thing, but the other people are still doing the wrong thing, don't make your decisions based off the crowd. Make the decision that you feel that is right. So yeah, that's what the conformity video was about. And next. We have a story on a woman named Aletha Woods. Yeah, that's conforming.
Keep going forward.
Oh. So the story of Aletha Woods. So the story of Aletha Woods is she's on a bridge in Detroit, and she's driving, and she has a fender bender with another guy, and the guy is very disturbed, so he hops outside of his car with a crowbar, and he pulls Aletha Woods out of the car, and he begins to beat her in the midst of traffic. No one else got out to defend Miss Aletha Wood, and so she panicked and jumped in the river, and she drowned because she couldn't swim. So yeah, if they would have stepped up, she could have saved her life. I mean, they could have saved her life, but nobody in the car stepped up, so everybody just didn't pay it any attention, and they lost a life. So the moral of that story is step up. Thank you.
Okay. So just as a recap, as I find my place on the slides, there are 5 steps to the step-up model to being an effective bystander. 1 is notice the event, and 2 is interpret it as a problem. And step 3 is assume personal responsibility, which is the Aletha Wood video. No one stepped up to help her. They didn't step up and call the police or anything, so she didn't get the help that she needed. And then step 4, and then this video shows the power of bystanders. If you step up and be the first person, other people will step up as well. The motorcycle crashed into the car, and he's under the car now.
Oh, go, you can do it.
And then as soon as the first person told everybody what to do, more people are coming to help.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So be the first person to step up. Okay. And then the fourth step is know how to help. The key to this is to be prepared, think ahead of time, and know what you would do in certain situations. So when that comes, you already have a plan of action.
Madam President, I have a question. Before you show that video, did you all show or go over the milligram videos?
We didn't.
Okay.
That was obedience to perceived authority. Has everybody heard of the Milgram videos?
I have.
For those who haven't seen them, the Milgram videos are, let's see. It was an experiment that was done a long time ago about people will make tough decisions, but they will continue doing something that they know is wrong because somebody in authority told them to do it. And so we'll show those videos for the people. Oh no! Connect.
Is the mouse not working?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay. We're back.
Okay. Bear with us. Sorry about this stuff. Technical.
To find out, Michael is about to observe the replication of one of the most controversial experiments in history. In 1961, social psychologist Stanley Milgram devised a test to see if ordinary law-abiding people would give a stranger a lethal electric shock in the name of science. 12 members of the public arrive for what they think is a memory test. They're introduced to another person who they believe is another volunteer. He's really an actor.
I'm Professor Lawrence.
As is the professor who'll be running the test.
Do you know what we're doing?
Not specifically.
The volunteers are also unaware that they're being filmed. Social psychologist Dr. Clifford Stock will be monitoring their responses.
We're conducting an experiment into learning and behaviour.
The actor who's acting as the professor comes in and talks to the two participants to try and convince them that what's actually happening is this scientific study of memory rather than actually what it is, which is a scientific study of obedience to authority.
The professor reveals that the experiment will involve a form of punishment.
The punishment we've chosen to use is electric shock.
Each participant is given a specific role within the experiment.
So I'm asking one of you to be a teacher and one of you to be a learner.
The learner receives the shocks. The teacher applies them.
Now, how do they decide who's the victim and who's the teacher?
Well, that's done through a lottery, so they draw lots.
How does that work out? Teacher.
Of course, it's fixed, so the actual participant always ends up being the teacher.
You must be teacher.
The subject observes the learner being strapped to the electric shock device.
Teacher, as he's called, gets to see all this. He gets to see that the man is restrained, can't move in the chair.
I think this is where the procedure starts to get really interesting because it's now
What the participants don't know is that the learner hasn't been receiving any shocks at all.
Let me out! Let me out here! Let me out!
His responses are being played on a pre-recorded CD.
Stop! Let me out here! Let me out here! Let me out!
to intense shock, and then extreme intensity shock, and then dangerous severe shock, I need to stop really, don't I?
Well, the experiment requires that you continue.
What about in dangerous severe shock? And then the XXX?
Well, please continue. Just continue the experiment. Thank you. Thank you. The participant here deferring to the professor.
Yes.
And that deferring to the professor carries with it a diffusion of responsibility. The responsibility for this is not entirely hers, so much as it is to the authority figure that resides with her in the room.
We're on danger now.
Yeah.
But you say it won't be really dangerous to him.
There's no lasting tissue damage.
And he signed his form and everything, didn't he? He signed his form and everything, didn't he? To say he was okay with it. Okay. Okay. Paper A cup, B wall.
Was it the third one? Yeah.
At this point, I should tell you that you've not been producing any shocks, or you haven't been administering any shocks.
I haven't.
No.
But where's he gone?
He's coming around here now.
I'm alright. I think I went mental. I realised when you went silent you were either dead or you weren't actually plugged into it anymore.
Hello.
I'm like, what's that?
Hello.
How do you do?
Hi.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions?
No.
You looked as if you were under some stress.
Oh, did you see me?
I can see you.
Where were you?
There's a camera in there.
Okay.
You looked as if you were under some stress,
I found it quite stressful. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
but you went on.
I did, yeah. Because the man behind me said that it wasn't going to damage him long term, so.
So if by chance you had hurt Nick, whose responsibility would that have been?
Well, in the eyes of the law, it would have been my fault, and morally, it would have been my fault. I could have argued that I was following the procedures laid out for an experiment, perhaps to blame science, but in reality, it would have been me pressing buttons.
And even with the burden of the knowledge that morally you might have been responsible for Brian's death, you went on.
Not entirely pleased about that, but I did, yeah.
So that is the Milgram's experiment, and it was repeated a few years ago, and they had the same results, that people went on because somebody in higher authority told them to do it. So that's just being aware and knowing that if you were in that kind of situation, you should do something that you feel is right, even if everybody else is not doing that. Okay. And then you heard about delete the wood. And step 4 is knowing how to help. And we're saying that the key to this is being prepared and knowing what you would do in certain situations before it actually happens. And then we're at the subway video. There's certain ways that you can intervene in the situation. You can eat chips in the middle of them and just not confront them directly. Be the person videotaping.
You just have moments, so get on another car.
Or it can be the lady telling him to get on another car. She's confronting him directly.
Okay, she's trying
We got you on camera. Don't follow. We got you.
Please stop again. Get off. Okay, she's not following me. Please get off.
The key is to never put yourself in harm's way, but know how you would help in that situation. And step 5 is step up, do something. Minimize costs and maximize rewards. Costs could be as simple as time, but it could also be a fear of retaliation. You don't want to embarrass yourself, you don't want to go against the group, you don't want to get yourself or your team in trouble, or you're afraid it'll be ineffective or it could be dangerous. These are some reasons why people intervene. It's the right thing to do. I would want someone to help me in that situation. Someone needed help. friends or teammates should look out for each other, or so the situation won't escalate. And these reasons depend on the situation. And then reasons why people don't help, these are good to know so that you can look at yourself and think, hey, this might be a reason I might not help, and how can I get around that? Is there a way that I could help, knowing that this might be a reason why I wouldn't help? So social influence, I might say to myself, no one else is doing anything, so it must not be that bad. Fear and embarrassment, I might say to myself, if I get involved, it might call negative attention to me, or I might embarrass who I'm trying to help. Diffusion of responsibility, there's got to be someone who's more qualified than me to help, so I'll let them do it. A fear of retaliation, I don't want them to start picking on me next. And pluralistic influence in a group, this happens when most people in the group are concerned and want to act, but incorrectly believe that they're in the minority. So they keep quiet because they assume that this is the opinion of the majority. Okay. And then I'd like to introduce Andreina to review that.
All right, so the C model is safe, early, and effective. Safe responding. Never put yourself in danger by trying to help others. If it's necessary, just call 911 or just get other people involved. Early intervention. Intervene as early as possible before the situation escalates and becomes a crisis or something that's out of control. Effective helping. Know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Okay, so we have the self-emergency helping. Stay calm, gather information, consider your options. You can always help directly or indirectly. If you want to help directly, it means that you're taking most of the responsibility. You are the first one, just like we saw in the car lift video. Once one person started helping directly, everybody else followed. And indirectly, you let somebody else take the responsibility, for example, the police and EMT personnel, or even a professor. Provide support, but do not become enmeshed. Thank you. And know your limits, walk away if it's unsafe. Of course, we don't want you to put yourself in danger by trying to help somebody else. Sorry. Okay. Then we have the non-emergency helping. Consider the frequency, the duration, and the severity. Define the problem and barriers. Determine the goal. Develop a game plan. Set boundaries. Do not enable. Maintain respect. Consider your options and no referrals. Friends helping friends. A lot of times when we see, especially somebody that's close to us, like a friend, a sibling, we try to help them, but we'll usually refer to them like, you are doing this wrong, you are putting family to shame, you are messing up. And this is actually going to backfire on us, because then they're going to just feel judged, they're going to feel discriminated, they're going to feel like, oh, I always do everything wrong. Instead, use phrases that start with I feel, I care, I believe, I see. That way the person will feel like you truly care for their well-being and they won't just shut down. Okay.
So now we're going to go over some scenarios of how would you intervene in some situations and instances that can happen either on campus here at Deerwood or other campuses that are off campus, you know, at home or at a party. So if you, Jane is on a break between classes and over here is a conversation between two students. Student one is her close friend Adam. She does not recognize student two and is not even sure if they attend school. After some time, Jane notices that Adam passes money to student two, and in return, student two appears to do some sort of pill to Adam. And what would you do if you were Jane? So, tell me, like, how would you intervene in this scenario?
If I see somebody selling drugs?
Like, if you see, like, your friend, give money to someone that you don't know if they attend school or not, and they give them something in return, like appears like, you know, it could be
I'll talk to
drugs.
my friend in that situation because that's his problem, is finding the drugs.
Right. So that's how some people would want to approach. Other people can like may overreact or do something rash, like, hey, what's up with student two, and like approach the unknown person and be like, what are you doing? Or some people would call 911, and in this scenario, you just don't know what happens. Like if it's just, you know, her friend giving her like, you know, her like cough medicine or something like that, it could be like potentially harmful drugs to that person, and you just have to know how you approach your friends, you know? And I think I would do what you would do, you know, hey, see what's going on with your friend, see what's up. But other than that, you know, try not to engage too much, but don't engage too less either. In the second scenario, we have alcohol. So if you were hanging out with your friends for New Year's when you realize that you haven't seen your friend Jessie for some time, you check in the back room and find Jessie passed out on the couch, breathing slow. Jessie's pretty heavy drinker in this past. She's been drunk, she's been more drunk than tonight. Your friend Joe assures you that Jessie's okay and just needs to sleep it off. How would you approach that? Is your friend going to be okay, or you check on her and just make sure she's there? How would you approach?
I would do a constant checkup on her, make sure that she's okay, make sure she's not completely throwing up all over herself and maybe choking on him. So being consistent with it.
I would call, take her to the hospital.
You take her to the
She
hospital?
might have alcohol poisoning.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to approach. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll flip her over on her stomach so she don't drown in her if she does throw up, and then call my.
If she starts throwing up,
Because I don't want her throwing up in my car.
Get a bucket.
So again, there's many different ways to go about this. You could call the ambulance, say, take my friend to the hospital. She's, you know, obviously been drinking too much tonight. I don't want her getting hurt or, you know, potentially doing something that's very dangerous. Or you can just help her out by checking in on her every now and then. And again, it's would you approach a situation? It's very different, and it varies between person to person. And this has to, you know, you have to find the right approach. And so now you guys are going to take a post test, and so we would like to. You guys have any feedback onto what you guys thought? No? Well, then I'll just hand out.
I have some feedback.
Yeah.
I really find that this whole course has been extremely well, and it kind of makes me see things a little different because I'm pretty sure that I didn't I get all of my questions right. So I'm pretty sure now I should have the proper feedback.
Yeah, well, Sarah here's going to hand out the post test. She beat me to it. And so you guys take that now, and thank you for your feedback.
This program is also supposed to take off a lot more and become more active in schools and colleges all around Florida or the country. I don't remember which. I don't know if it's going to stay local in Florida or if it's going to continue to span out across the country.
Yeah, I can speak to that. As far as the step-up model, I cannot remember exactly the university that started it first. Arizona, I thought. So, okay, thank you so much, Elise. Arizona State University kind of really took ownership of this, and there's a neat little video that they've done that we, as a college, SSCJ, will also do in terms of being an effective bystander. It's already a national initiative in a sense, and so more and more colleges are doing it. And so FSCJ kind of has just joined a long list of state colleges and more so universities that are doing this training. Thank you so much. You all did a wonderful job. It ended a little quicker than I thought it would, so I'm wondering how many questions you all asked the group, but I know how you all present. But at any rate, that's just me. I'm a question answerer. Speaking of which, one of the questions that was kind of missed in the step-up model that I want to ask you had two different scenarios with Delitha Wood, the young lady who was kind of, you know, basically beat up until she committed suicide for the most part. And then you had a situation where you had the people in the car with video. One person stepped up and decided to help, and you know, it pretty much saved the day and saved that person's life. Both scenarios, honestly, there was a potential to save a life, but I wonder, is it sometimes easier in a certain situation to help? For instance,
I can most definitely talk about that.
Okay.
Because with the dude that got the crowbar, the Delitha Woods, right? Delitha Woods, she was being attacked by some massive dude who had an anger issue, beating her up with a crowbar. I'm not sure that I would necessarily want to get myself in that situation to put myself in harm's way, but if it is saving a life, I know what the right thing is. Yes.
I think that it's important to think about other ways you can help, because that directly you would have gotten yourself hurt, but you could have also then used the step-up model and perhaps engage other people that were watching as well, maybe other men that were in their vehicles, and hey, let's go help. Now you're a group of 3, 4, 5 going to help this one person. Or we know of her story because people were sitting on their phones recording it, and they could have been calling 911. So
exactly.
There's ways you can help without putting yourself in danger.
That's also why you need to be one of the first people to step up, because it's also easier to step up and do something after someone else has. But if you're not going to be the first one to step up, who will? Yes.
For situations that don't call for a 911 call, is there another number or a different thing you could do, like a hotline, something like that? I mean, you obviously wouldn't call the police if you think your friends selling drugs, but is there like a hotline you could refer them to, then to talk to someone, or?
That's actually a really good question. I'm not totally sure about that.
Depending on the situation and what's going on, you can always talk to a professor, an advisor, the priest in your church. So it depends on where the situation was. So if it was a school, you could literally talk to a professor or somebody a little higher up. And if it's something that's going on at home, then maybe talk to your mother, your dad, or talk to somebody else.
and that's very good. Thank you so much. Like, let's say it happened at FSCJ. Most students may not know about the Student Assistance Program as a resource. Student Life is also a wonderful resource when something is happening, and it's just kind of a way that we just need to also get our names out there as well. But a professor would be great, even a dean or anything like that that you feel comfortable with. And then let's not just forget the power of our mobile devices. We live in a very techie time, and you can Google almost anything for the most part. And so Brandon back here mentioned a hotline. So we may not know a hotline off rep, but we can always Google. And then that information could possibly be there as well. So yeah, great questions. Thank you, Andrea. Campus security, thank you, is also another wonderful resource that's usually right there.
And you can always find more information on the Step Up website, and they have a Step Up program where you can go and see find more ways to intervene in different types of scenarios. And it's a website you can go to just to see what there is and what you can do in different scenarios.
And on your way out, if you would please leave your pre and post test with us, we would be grateful for that.
Are there any other questions, comments? Yes.
And we have one more video to show you guys. Oh, what did you do? It was on the phone.
It's a link, right?
No.
It's a link?
Where is it?
No.
Put it out here.
That's there.
It's on this.
Sexual assault.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe. And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other. To not
Look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
to step in.
to take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
To stop sexual assault. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So step up.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
Y'all put your.
That wasn't too bad.